Alright, y'all, I'm back, and so sorry in the background if you hear thunder and lightning. We have a little storm going on outside, but I wanted to take the time to talk about another book review. This is another standalone, and it is my 5-star read. This, I think, was the second favorite. I had 2 5-star reads in, I think it was April. And this was one of them. I love this book so much. Didn't think I would, but I did. It is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I ended up reading this book after finishing a series and waiting to start the next series. I wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit. So I just had this gut feeling. Like I was looking at my bookshelf and all I could think about was read Evelyn Hugo. So that's what I did. I followed my gut. Sorry, something fell behind me. And so I followed it and I loved it. So I love this one. This book was given to me as a gift. It was the first sprayed edges book that I've ever gotten. I don't really buy books with sprayed edges, only if I read the book and I loved it, like a trophy thing. But if somebody gets me it, I'm gonna take it. I love the background, I love the letter, but this is a great book. So this book is about a Hollywood actress who basically gets told she wants to do an interview. She purposely chooses this person because she wants to say her story, but turns out she doesn't want to do the spotlight. She wants her to write her book. And that's basically what it is. She's interviewing her to write her book. And we learn all about her 7 husbands. And now the rain is pouring. Sorry if y'all hear it, but now we're gonna read the Goodreads review like I do in every video. And then we'll talk deeper and deeper about it. So this book, my Goodreads review was, sorry, my thing is malfunctioning right now, so we're just gonna go straight to Goodreads. My review was, I read 2 books by Taylor Jenkins Reid. That's the author. And this one was the best. I love the timeline of the 50s and into an old Hollywood. I love the feel of that. The writing and perspective felt like I was there in the conversations and as if this was a movie. This would be a fantastic movie. I'm surprised it is not a movie adaptation yet, to be honest. It stirs emotions and even shows how media really hasn't changed in the years, focusing on what they want to write rather than what is the truth. So I thought that was pretty ironic because I technically work in the media industry since I do advertising. So I thought that was pretty ironic. So based on that review, it literally felt like I was also in the interview. I was interviewing her, learning about her to write her memoir, and I love that about this book. So if you've not yet read this book, don't watch the rest of this video. I'm about to spoils, and we're about to do a discussion right now. So the girl who is, oh, and I forgot to show y'all this. This is the inside. It's so 50s, so 50s. So this book is about her 7 husbands. Evelyn Hugo, and it starts off with her wanting to auction off her gowns, when in reality, that's not what she's gonna do. So she asked for this girl named Monique, and Monique works at a magazine place, and she's like, why me? I'm an amateur freelancer, just got hired to fully work here, like what do you want? She wants her to write her book, and there's a reason she was specifically chosen, but we don't find that out until the end. And it was really pretty sad once you find out. But we go through the 7 husbands. So we have the husband who is Ernie Diaz. We have poor Ernie Diaz. And poor Ernie Diaz basically was used by Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn Hugo used her body basically to get with him, marry him, because she knew he was her ticket to Hollywood, just to California, so she could start her Hollywood career. That's basically what he was used for. We kind of feel bad for him, well, at least I do, because they said, girl, he's got to go. We want you to marry this guy instead. It'll help your image. You want to be in Hollywood? This is what you got to do. All right, so we have Don Adler, second husband. And this man, he has the name, he has the family, he's rich, he seems really nice at first, but don't be fooled by people. They can have the name and everything, but secretly, this man, very abusive. That's what we got into, with some domestic violence. And Evelyn wasn't the only girl. She made friends, and one of her friends, basically these two ended with bad blood. Technically, like, it was mutual, but it really wasn't. He made her look horrible, and he marries her best friend at the time, who, since Evelyn went down because Dawn didn't want her with the same company anymore because they were signed with the same one, he goes and marries her best friend. They didn't end up being best friends anymore. And the best friend's like, why didn't you warn me? Even though she knew. She was in the room when she was getting makeup put on, covering everything. She did it to herself, I feel like. But, I mean, it happens. So, that's Dawn for you. And later, we see him after 2 more husbands. He comes back. But now as her husband. And only as a co-worker. But they both really needed it. So, when he did her bad, she went to France, Paris, and worked with the director. And she became internationally famous for her scenes, for her sex appeal scenes, basically, because that's what she was to herself. She uses her body to get what she wants, and that was just her. In her interview, she said, that's me, that's what I had to do. Do I feel bad? Maybe, maybe not, but I got what I wanted. And to be a star was what she wanted. So that was the next husband. And he takes a lot of the chapters. Like, I was like, okay, when are we going to dump him? When are we going to leave him? But this whole time, she had a best friend named Chris. And back then, if you were not straight, you got judged, in other terms. So I liked how that perspective was also in this book. It was really interesting. Y'all, I should put tabs on these pages so I get to the names of the husbands, but I didn't. So, sadly. But, she then married a star because the whole time she was falling in love with somebody she couldn't have out in public. She was falling in love with one of her girlfriends named Celia. She met on a movie set when she was a little woman, with also her best friend. And she was new, she was hip. She gave her acting lessons, which helped her further on. And they started forming not only a friendship, but a relationship. And that's when she learned she was bi instead of straight. And I feel like that perspective in this whole scenario was basically the book. And it was amazing because it really showed, even though this is a fiction book, it really shows the side of sexuality and preferences in the 50s, in the olden days, because that back then that was not allowed. Like, you were judged. So then we got to the next husband, Mick Riva. I missed his, it's right there. She basically fooled him into marrying her to get them away from paparazzi, because they were seeing her and Celia as something more. So they had to do that to hide their low-key relationship. And so then they were a little bit on and off throughout this whole book. And Celia made her feel things she's never felt for anybody else. And that's how we knew she loved her. So next we have Clever Rex North. And he was the next husband. And that's when Celia and him had a break because she doesn't like that she slept with Mick. That was not part of the deal. She was only supposed to get him to marry her to get their eyes off. So then they broke up for a little bit. She was with Rex. He was the director for the international films. And he loved the idea of being with her. He loved the idea that he got to be with her, used her name. Oh yeah, I'm Evelyn Hugo's husband. And she was like, nah, no ma'am, that's not for me. Dude, no. They did get hitched quickly. She thought this was finally the one. He wasn't. He was very egotistic, in my opinion. And that was just not a match made in at all. And I think I knew it too. I was like, no, no. So then earlier I said she had a best friend. His name was not Chris, sorry. It was Harry. And he became the next husband. He was brilliant. And he is the reason for Monique, why she chose her as the reporter. So Harry has always been there through all the husbands. He is gay. He had this idea, what about we get married? And it turns out Harry was in love with another man, but they couldn't be seen in public. And the man was Celia's husband, who was the quarterback football player for a team. They were together when her and Celia got to low-key have a relationship in New York. And then Harry's like, hey, I think I want a kid. It'll make my mom happy. So they do have a kid together. So the four end up raising the kid together. And it's really pretty. Like a whole beautiful thing. So a football player, something happens to him. Harry is depressed for the longest time. Eventually, there is a train now coming behind me in the background, sorry. But he gets in the car with somebody, his next and final lover, and he passes. They get in a car accident and both end up going. But what's interesting, the hardest part, like that part hit me hard, that it was actually Monique's dad who was framed for that car accident. And he's the one who passed, which is why Evelyn wants Monique to have the book. Now, my question is for y'all, do you think that was the right thing to do? Like how to tell her? Or would you have done that whole situation? Like have her find out this way and this is all I could do for you after I framed your dad. And it was really Harry who killed both of them. That's my question for y'all. What did y'all think about that? Because I have mixed emotions. Like I see her as a villain, but also like she's trying to repay for all the damage she done. Like she didn't grow up her whole life without a father. So I do feel bad about that one. So then next, after Harry, she married, I think she married somebody else just for looks and giggles. Oh yeah. So Max Gerard, I think he may have been the director. Sorry, I get two of these people mixed up. So he was the next husband. He was the egotistic one. Yeah. He was the egotistic one. So then after that, she's like, well, I'm done. But she regroups and gets back with Celia again. And they come up with a plan that they're like, Celia has something going on with her. She has a certain amount of time period. She wants to spend it with her, Evelyn. So her daughter's like fighting against this, like, I don't really want to leave. But they decide they want to be together. And her daughter was in like trouble and like being a troubled child. So they moved. She ended up marrying Celia's brother. She knew he was a player. He was never gonna get married, but so then they could live together. Nobody was suspicious. And the best part about this was they had their own little ceremony together on one of their nights together. And that's why I fell in love with this book, because it was about Evelyn Hugo's 7 husbands but she really wanted to just talk about her wife, Cecilia. And I love that so much. The way she said it, she's hard, she's stern, her personality, she knows what she wants, and she teaches Monique how to be a woman and get what she wants in her field as a reporter. She says, you get what you want, do what you need, don't do it in the way that I did it. I'm not ashamed of what I did, but do it how you want to do it. Get what you want. Here's a book deal. And live to where you want to be. Meet all your goals. And at this whole same time, I loved how she was also treating Monique like a daughter. She was trying to teach her. She was trying to help her. Monique was going through a divorce too. So it was really coming in full circle, everything near the end. And that's why I love this book so much. The writing, the story, the characters, everything is well written, strong built, and just perfect in my opinion. I love this one. So if y'all have not yet read this book, let me know when y'all do. Also, don't forget to answer that question in regards that I asked earlier, and I will see y'all in the next book review. Have a great rest of your time.